Hi class, my name is Amanda Bach, and today I'm going to talk to you about assembling a crib. The crib that we're going to talk about today is one that I have looked at Toys R Us or Babies R Us that I really kind of like, and I would maybe kind of like to get, depending on what I decide to do with my house here. This crib actually comes with a bassinet. It's also a regular crib, and it can also turn into a toddler bed. The nice thing about this is everything you see in this picture actually comes with the crib. The only thing you'll have to buy later on is once you take this front rail off to make it into a toddler bed, that smaller rail does not come with it. So that's just something that you'd have to buy later down the road once you turn it into a toddler bed. And depending on your situation, you could wait for however long to be able to do that. But today we're going to talk about how to assemble a crib. My husband and I have actually helped some friends of ours assemble theirs when they were pregnant, and we started assembling the crib actually in their living room. We got so far, we got so into it, and then all of a sudden we all stopped and went, hey, you know what? We're kind of maybe getting ahead of ourselves because this has to actually go upstairs. So how are we going to get a full-blown crib up the stairs and turn the corner? They just didn't have the room. So one thing I'm going to suggest is that you make sure that wherever you're going to assemble the crib is that you can make sure that you can get it into the nursery that you are planning on using. It was fun. We got so into it that we actually had to tear some of it apart just to be able to get it back upstairs. But we got to see what it was going to look like, and that was kind of the whole point of trying to put it together. What I do when I have big projects like this, it's not just a crib, it's other things that I build. I try to lay out all the material that I have, double check that everything is there. I look at the instructions, and usually they come with a list of everything that should be in there, and how many screws and how many of this and how many of that. So I usually try to look at that, go through that list, make sure that everything's there, make sure that all the wheels, all the screws, look and see what style of screws they are using to put the crib together. I have noticed that a lot more furniture pieces are coming with their own tools because they're using the square nuts instead of like the Phillips head screws, just so that they have a cover that they can put over it so your screws are not visible and can't hurt your kids. That's another nice thing about this crib. None of the screws are visible. It also has wheels, so you want to double check that the wheels are pretty sturdy. They do have locks on them, so that once you get your crib into place, when you got it all assembled, you can lock them. That's a nice thing about some of the wheels. Um, so once I got everything laid out, I sometimes call somebody to give me a hand just to help hold stuff up. Once you get that extra helper, especially with a crib, it's kind of big and awkward, and trying to get it screws and sometimes doesn't work by yourself. So once you get that helper over, and maybe they can hold some stuff, or maybe you can hold it, and they can, make sure all the screws are nice and tight, and make sure nothing's gonna fall out. You want to. I usually start with the sides, and then once I get the three sides together, I might put the spring for the mattress in, just so you have some kind of support for most of it. And most of the time, the two sides hold most of the weight on that, anyways. So once you get that in, then I usually put on the last side, get that all screwed in. And if you're I have noticed with doing some research on the different cribs that they don't always come with a mattress. So you want to make sure that your crib comes with a mattress. Otherwise, you get it all done and then you don't have a mattress to put in there till later. So once I get the crib all together and I get the wheels on there, I try to put it in place. Put it where you're going to put it in the bedroom. Maybe move the bedroom around a little bit and decide what what's the best and what looks the best for your situation. I lock the wheels, and then I try to, if I've got them, I'd put the sheets on and get everything ready. Maybe put some stuffed animals down in there. And with this one, at least if you're going to use the bassinet for your first couple or first while, you can put some of the stuff that you don't really need for a while, maybe some extra sheets down in the bottom if you're tight on space in your house, or you can use it as a storage area. Maybe put a couple stuffed animals down there. So it's just an extra place for some storage if you're going to use that. If you're going to use the top piece. So, like I said, you want to make sure that you have all your tools uh, when you're getting ready to assemble your crib or anything. You want to maybe go through the list, double check that everything's there. Make sure you have the right tools if the project that you're working on, the crib that you're working on, has its own tools. You want to make sure that you have those, that they're there. Once you have everything and you have everything put together, you want to make sure that you have it in the right spot, and it's a spot that makes you feel comfortable when you go in the bedroom, and that you think your kid's going to get the most sleep at. Once you get all that done, you're ready for baby to come home, and I think it's one more thing that's done that makes you a little bit more anxious for baby to come home. So it's been really nice explaining this to you. If you have any questions, please let me know.